You're ready, you may begin.
Whether you have experienced this firsthand or seen it during class, a napping teenager is a seemingly common classroom decoration. Because of this, many schools have considered implementing a later start to the school day. There are many benefits to this concept, as well as immediate steps we can take to make this a possibility at St. Paul's. Teens are among the least likely to get enough sleep, while they need on average 9 1/4 hours of sleep per night for optimal performance, health, and brain development. Teens average fewer than 7 hours per day by the end of high school, and most report feeling tired during the day. Because of the levels of melatonin that are higher during the night for teenagers, teenagers find it difficult to sleep at a proper time that will allow them a fresh start in the morning, making them less alert during school and causing them to lag due to fatigue. I'm sure many of you international students, or maybe anyone who's traveled out of the country, have experienced jet lag, and symptoms of jet lag can be experienced daily when circadian rhythms are disrupted due to long, irregular hours, and it causes you to be less alert. Circadian rhythms, they can influence sleep-wake cycles, hormone release, body temperature, and other important bodily functions. They have been linked to various sleep disorders such as insomnia. Abnormal circadian rhythms have also been associated with obesity, diabetes, depression, bipolar disorder, and seasonal affective disorder, according to Sleep Foundation. According to Medical General Daily. And the previous quote was from National Sleep Foundation. In order to prevent these limiting conditions, a later start time should be implemented at St. Paul's. To balance the students' sleep schedules, starting later will help give them a greater opportunity to sleep longer and to attain the 9 1/4 or at least 8 hours of sleep that is required to be focused and alert during the day, and could possibly increase performance and participation during school, and may lead to greater results in their and performance in their education. Yeah, as I said before, 9 1/4 hours of sleep is required for optimal performance, but 8 hours of sleep at least, according to National Sleep Foundation. There are some drawbacks, though, potential drawbacks, though, that should be addressed. Teachers who were surveyed also raised concern about lower income families with students who have to work after-school jobs or take care of younger siblings, and whether they'd be able to do those activities if the school day shifted. Teachers also raised concerns about how late extracurricular activities would go if school start times were changed. This was from the Washington Post, this quote. As for sports, studies have been shown that a later start time has not affected greatly the schedules. And as far as a later rescheduled practice time, we at our school have lights on the football field, and it wouldn't really affect us in the gym because it is lit up, can be lit up at night as well. And as for students who work after school, studies have shown that employers indicate a change in start times has not affected their business or the number of hours their students' employees can work, according to the National Sleep Foundation. In fact, extra help after school is usually needed, and the hours have been shown to be easily adjusted. And overall, students should be focused on their health and education first before both of these aspects. And now, with these facts in mind, it is time to put words into action. If you feel strongly about this topic, Please feel free to write a letter to student government as instructed by Mr. Bierman if you do wish to follow up on this pressing concept. And feel free to educate other students about this by maybe checking up the National Sleep Foundation's site, which has a lot of useful information. Waking up after school may seem like an impossible task for some students. However, with the implementation of a later start time at St. Paul's, this task may not seem so daunting. With all of these benefits in mind, as well as the immediate means of action, please consider how this change could possibly affect your life and the lives of fellow students.
Thank you very much. Let's give a round of applause. Okay, thank you, Emma. I am now open for all of you audience members to ask her questions about her research or pertaining to any information that she shared with us today. So whenever you're ready, try and get your hands raised, get participation points. I'm going to write your names down on our sheet as you ask your questions. Do you have any for Emma?
What has been your worst experience with napping at school?
It usually happens to the end of the day for me, but I started dreaming in apologetics, and he had to kind of shake him a little bit to head me up paper. I was really tired.
It's funny.
Anyone else?
If we start school later, will it not conflict with the scheduling of students missing a little bit more school for having to leave earlier for sports? How do you feel about that, or what do you think we could do about that?
Well, according to the National Sleep Foundation, they said in their experience, the schools that have participated in the later school starting, they haven't had too many problems at all with like scheduling. Thomas?
Would you say that would start bad habits with kids when they get out of school and they have to go to a job that's even earlier in the morning, at the age of like 18 or 17 when they get a job, right in the summer?
Oh, in the summer?
And after they get out of high school also?
A lot of high school, I know some college students have they have like side jobs, things like that. And yeah, of course, it won't be necessarily good for them, but wouldn't you rather catch up on sleep? I don't think getting a healthy amount of sleep is really developing a bad habit. It's just you'll kind of miss it once you don't really have that option. So I think for optimal performance in high school, when grades really matter in order to get into a college you're looking for, yeah, we should focus on high school or not.
What about sports? Since now here at St. Paul we start sports at 4 and finish like before dinner, wouldn't it be hard to keep track with sports and dinner and that also studying hours and time like that?
Well, sorry. At the dining hall, there are like sack lunches that you can get for your team, like if you're going to a game, or yeah, I'm sure they'd be able to sort something out with maybe sack lunches or potentially serving later. Yeah.
Anyone else? Okay, then let's give Emma a round of applause. Thank you very much, Emma.